Yeah, I was going to say your game was obviously in a pretty good spot when you got on campus your first year, but where do you feel like it evolved the most from that freshman year to that senior year?
Well, I got stronger. We hit the weight room. I got stronger,
See,
so I was hitting the
people
ball a little
wouldn't
bit
believe
further.
golfers work out, right?
They don't believe it, and trust me, we didn't
uh,
want to believe it when we had to work out at 6 a.m. on Monday and Wednesday. Those were no fun, I can promise you.
uh,
But yeah, we did. We had to kind of get going, and I got stronger. Billy Mack really helped me with my golf swing. I tightened up kind of my ball striking. I drove it a little bit better. I hit my irons a little bit better. I became a little bit of a better chipper. And then I was a little bit streaky with the putter. It just depended on whether I had a good week with the putter or just an average week. So I think I got better in every category as I went through school. Billy Mack was an incredible teacher and still is to this day, and taught me a lot. And I was able to learn from him, and even and going through kind of when we were playing golf, I learned a lot from him, just him walking with me, kind of telling me just certain things around how course management works and how to scrounge out around when you're not really playing that well. I think that's the most important part in golf, because we don't play really good very often.
right.
We play very average a ton, and you got to find out how you can turn very average to pretty good,
Mm,
because it's just not going to be there all the time. It's
right.
just like having a bad shooting day or bad
It's just
pitching
too
day
hard
or
of a
whatever.
game. It's just too
It's too
hard of a
hard of a
game.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I'm the only one out there. I can't call in a sub to have somebody come putt
right.
for me. You know what I mean? It's
right.
it's just too hard of a game. There's a lot of variables. So it was just, he was very invaluable in teaching me a lot of course management, and just I got better in every aspect.
Yeah. And again, like I said, you turned pro in 2016, like we talked about the adjustment from, you know, amateur golf, junior golf to college, but that jump to the professional level. And you talked about the Corn Ferry Tour and all these mini tours. And again, it was from 2016 all the way until late 2019 when you got that PGA Tour card. And it's funny, I think people think about, you know, they think about professional golf and they think of Phil Mickelson and they think of Jordan Spieth and they think of Dustin Johnson and, you know, all these guys, all these names we know. And the successes they've had and like the money, if you will, because you can make a pretty good living, obviously, as you're doing right now. But it is it's just like you said, like minor league baseball. It's a grind on those
Grind.
tours. You're doing all your own traveling. Like you're basically your own business owners, how you could kind of look at it. I mean, you're putting your own money into it. Like you're putting, you know, I'll never forget I you know, when I used to caddy part-time out at Sage Valley, obviously, as we talked off
Mm-hmm.
air. I remember I caddied for this guy that, you know, he was talking about he played on mini tours and he probably shot like 65 at Sage. And I mean, just on a casual day, had to hit his driver like 360. But he told me, he was like, dude, I just got tired of putting for dinner. Like that's really what it
Mm-hmm.
was. And that mental, like just talk about that, man. Again, that mental grind. I'm sure you had a great support system behind you, which I think is super important. But I mean, it's a true grind, man. There's no question. I got a lot of respect for the guys that really battle it out on those mini tours and just sort of make it happen like you did.
Well, I mean, yeah, it is absolutely a grind. I mean, I was very lucky to have some good sponsorships coming out of school, and was able to kind of pay my way and just give myself some time to play. But there are a lot of guys that don't have that. There are a lot of
Right.
guys that are trying as much as they can. Like there's a guy who just played at Riviera named Willie Mack, um, who lived in his car for 2 years playing mini tour golf, just because he's like, do I want to play in the next event? Because it's expensive as all get out. I mean,
Right.
that's
Right.
that's the worst part about it. It's so expensive to play, and
Mhm.
especially mini tour golf. I mean, we're not having people pay for our meals and
Right.
give us per diem and hotels and this, that, and the other. You have to do it any way you see
Right.
fit. And he said, well, do I want to keep playing and bank as much money as I can to really chase my dream, or do I want to just kind of put it up and try
Right.
and go get a job somewhere? And he decided to live in his car for 2 years and keep playing, and won the money list both years, which was incredible for going through that. I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's unbelievable. But yeah, it is 100% a grind, because you just never know when it's going to happen. It can happen so fast, just like the Jordan Spieths of the world that just kind of come out of college, get going, and boom, they're on the PJ Tour.
Right. Right.
And then you have guys like, there's a guy named Scott Harrington who's
Mm.
40 on
Yeah.
the PGA Tour, and and he's a rookie. I mean, that guy has just grinded it
Yeah.
out and just never lost faith
You
that he
gotta
was
you
good
gotta
enough to
love golf at
play.
that point. You gotta love golf.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, the
Mm.
belief system that he's got to be like, hey, I can do this. I can make it to the PGA Tour year in and year out. When I'm sure all his friends and all his guys are like, what are you doing? go get a job, go do something else. Like this is not where it is. But that is the craziest part. It just can happen so fast. You can have your dream job at 23, or you have to wait 25 years to even have a chance at it. I mean, and it is a grind. I've spent 6 weeks on the road. This is my first week home. I did 6 weeks in a row, and it's exhausting. I love it. I absolutely love it. I wouldn't want to do anything else in the world.
Right.
I'm very passionate about it, but it is very tiring, especially when the job security is not
right.
It's not what it is in some other sports.